Good afternoon, evening, everyone. Digby's here. Looking around. I'm still getting stuff set up. We're gonna see if I can get Pantha here in the on the voice chat to discuss today's happenings. I guess I drew her in with my anti-mom propaganda today. She was really receptive to that. Pantha, can you hear me? Test. Maybe I'm not on. One second, everyone. Sorry, I got to make sure I'm over here on the Zoom feed or whatever it is. It's not Zoom. Video Ninja. BB, that is the kindest thing that I think anybody's ever said about spending a Sunday with me. That this is the best part of Sunday. So thank you very much. This is a sweet thing to say. Still waiting to see if I can hear. Partly why. Okay, so you can hear me. I was gonna see if I needed to change anything. So yeah, then I just, and I could share the screen too if we need to. Can everybody else hear besides Pantha? Sound check. I'll make a quick thing here so I can switch to the Zoom chat. I guess if anybody wants to, it can be video too. So if I'm going to set this up, might as well do that. So I'm going to do that real quick here. So it's going to be a few more minutes, and it gives time for people to show up to see this world premiere video. It's going to be so exciting. You guys are so lucky. Oops, and I guess I was sharing Discord on the. I mean, that's not good. I just doxed everybody, and I can't see. Still waiting on a sound check. Am I able to be heard on the actual live stream? I'm going to turn on the sound just so I can hear myself echo back. And apparently I'm not on the. Nobody can hear me out there. Or can you? A great way to start the day. Let's see here. Audio. I mean, it looks like I'm. I'm going to. We're going to get an audio feedback loop here for a second while I test this. So it's going to be about 30 seconds of audio looping or feedback. Sorry. I need to see if I can hear anything, which apparently I can't.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
We're going to get a something's going on here for a second while I test this. So it's going to be about 30 seconds of audio looping. Okay. So I'm just a little confused by the silence of BB and TZ. You would assume that they would be here and excited and engaged, but apparently not. All right, so this thing, you can hear this trailer because I can't hear it for some reason now. I don't know why that is. A little confused by the silence of BB and TZ. So you would assume that they would I can't hear. Maybe I can't hear you. All right. All right, so this thing, you can hear this trailer because I can't hear it. I'm always so embarrassed by my ineptitude when it comes to this. I'm supposed to be a technologically savvy person, but I can't hear. Maybe I can't hear you. It says that I don't know why I can't hear myself. All I hear is myself. I can't hear any of the other stuff that's going on here. Okay, so well, we're gonna do the. I'm gonna start here with. That's embarrassing. This feels weird. It feels weird that nobody else is chatting. Normally we'd see a sirloin pop in here and give a wave, but we're not getting that. maybe I need to switch to the scene with me and Digby in it, and people will. Whoops. That's embarrassing. All right. Weird. It feels weird that nobody else is. I'm gonna wait until I see one person other than Pantha say that they can hear me. So maybe I need to. That's what we need to be in today. Because I can't hear myself. Whoops. All right. I'm gonna wait until. And again, I'm doxing my everything on Discord, so they can hear me. So Gabriel Long is here and chatting, and you can hear me. Wonderful, Gabriel. All right, and there's Sirloin. See, that's the sound check I needed there. So this week I got very confused. I saw that there was a new Grand Theft Auto trailer out, and I watched it, and I was reminded of how over the top this game is. I always try to play the Grand Theft Auto games ever since the beginning. Like I've played pretty much all of them, and I get like through the first scene, and then I kind of lose interest in it. Like I can remember Grand Theft Vice City on the PS2, where he starts off where his hands are burned and he needs somebody to drive him, the other guy, and your job is to drive for the guy who can't drive. And like I play for like 10 minutes and then I get bored of it. And then I played what was the other one I played? San Andreas. I think that one you start off on a bicycle, and I played that one for like 10 minutes and I got bored of it. And then I try to play these games all the time and I get extremely bored of it. And it's not that I'm not into open world games, because I think open world games can be fun. It just like the game never seems to interest me. So this new Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer came out, and I was watching it and I was like, and I thought maybe I could do something with it. So I played around with this. My video will make more sense if you've watched the trailer or you have some familiarity with the game. If you haven't watched the trailer, maybe won't make that much sense. Maybe I'll do a quick. Let's do a quick rundown of this. We'll watch this trailer, or is it we'll watch the first one. See, I'm really late. This has already got 100 billion views. I needed to get my video out when it was lower, so I could kind of mingle my garbage with this to mess with people's brains, but I was slow to do it. Partly because we had some disagreement about the vision for this video. I've been working with my partner creating music and video for decades now, and she kind of sometimes gets the last say in whether or not something is suitable for public presentation. And she was very critical of my original storyline here. So I'm gonna let's play this first trailer. I can't hear the audio, but you guys just tell me if the audio sounds okay here, just for anybody who isn't familiar. TZ is back. Good to see you, TZ. Talking about this trailer, but I felt that I'm going to play this video for context first. It's about a young Latina woman who gets caught up in a life of crime. And I guess the GTA game is just parodying our real life now, but when real life actually is this, it's like less funny to me. Like when you see all the Florida people, this is really, it's not really a parody anymore. They're just showing a reality. So here's this, and there's the guy with his MS-13 tattoo, apparently. One of these, I assume that this means MS-13. So can everybody hear the audio on the video other than me talking? Can I get a sound check just to make sure that when I play my video it works?
Is by sticking together.
And good to see you, Mediocrity Network. I like that you're a Mediocrity Network. I mentioned Mediocrity on, or I called it Mediocrity. What was it? I was talking about meritocracy being actually mediocrity. That it's a system of people who are mediocre rationalizing their personal fortunes that they were born into the lives of. All right, so there we go. We got audio here, even though I can't hear it. So I'm going to play, even though we got a low, I guess I could play this trailer again. You were here 2 hours beforehand. That's some dedication. Yeah, I saw it. It's always nice when I see, most of the time I look at the stream and it says there's one person waiting and it's me. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. So it's exciting when I see. It's really exciting when I see people chatting beforehand, but it's nice to see that people are waiting. So here's the trailer I made for Grand Theft Auto, and the other hilarious thing about this is that I should go back to the trailer. The game comes out like May 26th, but I thought it was May 26th of this year rather than next year. So I was like, I gotta rush to get this done so I can be in time. And then I learned that I've got another year to mess with this. So here's the trailer and a little bit of context before we start. Let's see if I can share. All right. So I called it Jan 6th Auto. It's an adequate pun, I guess, but I like the idea of, the recklessness that people engage with on January 6th being akin to the game itself, because on some levels these people live these lives in which they have shitty jobs that don't have meaning, and life under capitalism is pretty shitty if you're in the working class. And so I like the idea of the game being tied in somehow to these events. So there's several puns here, Jan 6th Auto. I don't know if that's an onomatopoeia, but anyways, there's also, this is a Jan 6 Auto, this is Jan 6 Auto, and of course you got Ashley Babbitt. And these guys were this Secret Service or Capitol Police who shot her. And she's considered a hero these days by the right. Even though if you've seen the video in which they're literally banging on this glass door, breaking it down, and they're told, all the people who are breaking in are told that a gun is pointed at them. Everybody says he's got a gun, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. And she still crawls through and gets shot. And she's a martyr for these people. And so I kind of somehow you hear, do I have the stream open? You think you faintly hear it being echoed from my own computer. I think it's echoing from, the call. It's echoing in the call, I think. Maybe I should take it off of the, let's see if I can I mute myself over here? I don't know where else I would have gotten a loop. Oh, all right, here. I think I know how to solve this problem. I think I got, let's see, settings. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can resolve that without, let's see here. If I mute my microphone, all right, I think sorry, bear with me. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to set it up so my microphone runs through the video or the audio sharing platform. So it's going to be 1 second. You're going to get double loops now from this. So, but if I do this and then I mute it in.
I hear you in the call now.
All right, here it goes. Can you hear me now still? This is a sound check. I've just changed my mic settings. Those are some terrible hours. 128 hours.
It was a lot of hours, plus my bonus. It was a big paycheck. It was worth it, I guess.
Type something else so I can hear if I've got a sound check here. Notepad. I've just changed my mic settings. Can you hear me? Those are some terrible. You can hear Pantha. Why can't I hear Pantha?
Hi, guys.
All right, let me see here.
I don't know what he did, but I can hear him in the call now.
Pantha. Because I don't have my. Something's up with my audio today. Oh, I know what I did.
Hey guys, while we're waiting, tell me. I want your guys' opinion. Chat. Hang on.
Have I been talking over this whole time?
Let's see here. Okay. Gonna see if I can screen share this.
Panther, can you hear me now? And do I still have
Yeah, I can. Look,
I have an
what do you
echo
guys
on
think?
too.
Does this look like a moving object? I don't see it in the fourth one. It's driving me crazy.
I need to share. I don't have that screen pulled up, so
Oh,
hold on.
well, do you just tell me? Well, you're not sharing it. Look,
Give me
two,
just 1 second.
three. Yeah, I can hear you. Now the screen's black on the main screen. We fixed one problem and made another. You know, the easiest thing, I could just send you the link. All right, got it. Let's hit play. Okay. Oh, there we go. What do you think, chat? Does that look like a moving object? I don't see it in the fourth. I see it in, let's see. We got it in frame 1, 2, and 3, but in frame 4, I don't see it. Oh, that's okay. I can hear you. What do we think, chat? Does this look like a moving object? I just don't see where it went in the fourth panel, and it's driving me crazy. Is it an artifact? Is it really there? It's not marked as a known object.
Now I bet I have an echo on me. Can you hear me now, chat? That's what I think. It's a like a prisoner ship from another planet.
No.
It,
Objects closer to Earth look different. That's too far. It's probably an asteroid. Anyway, it's the first. I'm the first one to market, I think, so I'm excited about that.
they're gonna name it after you.
That's not how it works. Unfortunately.
All right, so can I be? Hey, woke Mike. Can I be heard? And do I have an echo? Everyone, let's figure this out. Because I'm sure I'm gonna. Okay, wonderful. I think. So you're the first one to mark it. Why don't you? Did you already tell people what you were doing here with this this
Nah,
project? You
I
didn't.
just
You're
have to
just
figure it out.
okay.
If your viewers haven't seen flip books for astronomy yet, I'd be surprised.
You don't know what to tell them. All right. All right. Good to see you, David O. I'm glad everybody can hear me. Gabriel Lung says Grand Theft Asteroid. Yeah, we've diverged from the original. 1 minute I was talking about the Capitol riot, and the next we're looking at images, trying to discern whether this little flying hot dog is actually.
If it's going to destroy the Earth or not, maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah, that'd be great to have an asteroid named after you that impacts the Earth. That would be pretty nice. I wanted to ask, like, this is typically the foray of something that would be done by really well by AI. So why hasn't AI taken over this process of having people overlook these images?
It partially has. It's flip books that have been marked by AI as possible moving asteroids. And then once they're flagged as possible, then you have to have the volunteers go through and mark it, whether it's a legit or an artifact.
And you don't have a problem with it, AI being used in this way, right?
Not in this way.
Yeah. It's like,
because there's just no way to, I mean, there's just so much data out there. There's just no way for scientists to see, like this, it's clearly oh wait, is it showing it? Like this one is clearly an artifact. Easy, done.
but you know, there are probably some people out there that like to do this manually, and they probably are mad at AI for taking that fun, creative project away from them, right?
Well, that's why when the new data sets drop, they scramble to be the first ones to look at them, try to authorize. A lot of the guys who work on this project too are actually working for Catalina Sky Survey.
All right, it looks like we've got Turtle Time voiceovers here, and hopefully Charlie is enjoying the stream. And thanks for all the Happy Mother's Day stuff. TTV, I think, maybe, I don't know, are you TT or TTV? You should know that I only got Pantha to join on the stream this week because of my anti-mom propaganda in the description of this video. So just so you know.
It's true. I've been feeling that way this whole week. just in general in real life, but we'll not get into that.
And if anybody else wants to join us in the chat, you're welcome to. I put the link in the chat, and it's also in our Discord. So let's see here. I'm going to see if I can do one final thing before I share this video that I did. Let's see here. I'm sorry for all the chonky stuff that's happening here. Oh, I can't do this. Apparently I can't do this. All right. So I'm going to share this video since we got a bunch of people here, and that's all. Everybody just came to see this amazing new video. I shared it with Pantha already. Pantha's a member of the Patreon, where you get previews of exciting upcoming events. So Pantha, what were your initial? You got a rough cut of it. What was your initial thought process on this video? No spoilers, but just on the concept.
On the concept, yes. It hits a little too close to home because there for a while, Jay and I were watching way too much Grand Theft Auto roleplay on Twitch, and that's kind of degenerate, but it was a thing.
Okay, well, that's what this kind of does, and I don't know how in the world I tied it to January 6th, but here goes, everybody. I'll start it, and we can make sure. Oh,
by the way, I think it's still on my share my thing.
Okay, so let's see here. Wrong one. All right, there we go. I'm small here in the corner now. Let me know, everybody, if you can hear it. I can't. Whoa. Can you hear it? You can't hear it, or you can?
I cannot hear it.
All right, but let's see. If chat can hear it, we're just gonna have you'll have to watch it on stream then. Sorry. Chat, could you hear the loud noise? We're on such a delay here. Okay. All right. So here we go. Everybody can hear it. Sorry, Pantha, but you've already seen it. So you haven't seen the whole thing. You haven't heard the refined jokes. So here goes, everybody. Enjoy.
We have thousands of murderers that came in. They're gonna murder people.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
The president says my tattoos make me a member of MS-13.
The president wants everyone with gang tattoos deported.
What about our swastika and white power tattoos?
Just keep them covered by your police uniforms.
Hey, Jason. Donald Trump just arrested your Mexican girlfriend, Lucia.
Look, Brian, I've told you before, she's not Mexican. Her parents are from Spain and she was born in Ohio.
Well, whatever she is, they're shipping her off to El Salvador. I think it's because of her tattoos, or she was too woke.
Lucia's tattoo says MS-13.
That was Photoshop, but she does have multiple MAGA tattoos, and she stormed the Capitol on January 6th with a very different violent gang.
I didn't know that she was such a patriot. In that case, I'm giving her a full pardon.
Lucia's gonna get out just in time. She's never missed her shift at the Home Depot. She and I have been working together in the garden center for more than 10 years now. If I can't get her out before we open tomorrow, my manager's gonna send Larry the loader to help me water all the plants. I fucking hate Larry.
Really like those begonias.
I know
on
it's
the
late,
shelf.
but if you can help me get Lucia out tonight, you can use my employee discount to get 10% off of anything at the Home Depot.
Brother, you got a deal.
Thanks, dude. Come see me when my manager's not around.
Oh, hell yeah. Look who getting a discount on 6 sheets of drywall and a box of joint compound.
Hey there, Lucia. It's so good to see you. I couldn't stand the thought of watering all those plants with Larry. Oh, thank God. We're here just in time to clock in for our shifts. Lucia, let's do this. Summer savings are here, and we've got everything you need to build a gallows for the next Capitol riot.
That was a long shift.
The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Terminal mode, he's on the stream, littering the timeline with his streams. A silent crowd,
I like that.
nobody's there, reading Vonnegut, what a despair. But it's in his heart.
We
All right.
have thousands
All
of
right. Okay.
murderers that came in.
Let's see. All right. So back to our original scene. Why is it? Uh-oh. Something happened here, and we've got a cascading series of screen sharing. Oh, it's because, are you sharing a screen? Is that you or me?
That's you.
That's
I turned
me?
My screen share off.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How embarrassing that was. All right. So why don't you, okay. I guess let's go back to my screen here. 10 out of 10 outro, huh?
The outro was better than the intro there.
Really?
I didn't. I don't think you had that set up last time I saw.
No, I didn't. I like doing, like, there's just something fun about, doing a creative outro or intro or whatever. So anyways, yeah, I'm not sure that I feel like the video was entirely consistent. I like the idea of I like the idea of making people who are wanting to watch a commercial for Grand Theft Auto, making them watch a commercial for the Home Depot. That kind of makes me laugh. But the idea that you would take a game that's so over the top, in which people just engage in, violence because they're bored or whatever, and then turn it into a game about working at the Home Depot, raiding the Capitol, is amusing to me.
I mean, they had an entire arc in No Pixel last year with a guy who basically did the same thing. Yeah, he set up a January 6th type scenario in the RP.
Yeah,
it's definitely something people would love to do.
I saw somebody actually. Somebody had a mod for GTA where they were raiding the Capitol, and it wasn't a very good mod because it didn't look like the Capitol. It looked more like the Taj Mahal or something. And they were role playing that they were storming the Capitol. I don't know if it was like making fun of people who stormed the Capitol or if it was intended to be satire. But in any case, the part of the video here, let's see if I can. One thing that I've been intrigued by is the fact that Donald Trump is, they're saying that people who have MS-13 tattoos or, something that can be called MS-13, those people are under risk of deportation. But the cops, they're in a lot of them are in, white power gangs, essentially, especially throughout the South. and they're allowed a pass. And same things for like all of the January 6th people who stormed the Capitol. They got pardoned for engaging in actual violence. They joined a gang and they engaged in violence, and they're considered heroes at this point in terms of how Trump has rewritten the narrative. But these other people like Abrego Garcia, who has been, in the United States for a long time, I guess Maryland for 10 years, he's considered a gang member, even though all he was doing was working, for a union and having a family. He wasn't, even if the argument can be made that he was in MS-13, back, decades ago, he's not now, and he didn't do anything bad here. So the fact that they're just using this to deport him is shameful, especially considering how that we treated the January 6th rioters. So I like this joke here. I had the joke where she said she had the tattoos, but then I had the cop. I like the cop joke here. Let's see if I can.
Everyone with gang tattoos. The president wants everyone with gang tattoos deported.
What about our swastika and white power tattoos?
Just keep them covered by your police uniforms.
So I thought that was a funny joke. Woke Mike, Mrs. Rigby, huh? That's funny.
The joke was funny. I just couldn't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear. I need you. I need
not laughing at your jokes. I just can't hear them.
I should cue you laughing. I should let you know when to laugh. I'll make a verbal signal. So, that's kind of you for missing Rigby. It's funny because there's a video in which we made like years ago in which somebody calls him Digby Rigby, and then Digby switches tones. I wonder if I could find it. I should share this video.
I haven't seen that.
Let's see. I think you have. You've seen it. I don't know if I can play the full video because it doxes my kid in it, but maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. If it's discovered that I doxed my kid, I'll get in trouble. David O. Have known active gang members been arrested? The thing is, like, they're trying to suspend, habeas corpus. So we don't know because they weren't using it to begin with. They were just anybody who, basically if you just came to America and there's a document that you came to America or you're here, then they're going to try to get rid of you. Dustin Rodriguez says, given my name, despite the fact my family is 3 generations in the country, I expect ICE to show up at any moment. Yeah, I tried to put that joke in the video there where at the beginning. There's it here.
Trump just arrested your Mexican girlfriend, Lucia.
Look, Brian, I've told you before, she's not Mexican. Her parents are from Spain and she was born in Ohio.
Well, whatever she is, they're shipping her off to El Salvador.
So yeah, that the idea that it's like I don't know if it's a slippery slope, but how do you define what an American is or what a Maryland person is? They're basically, these things are all made up. If you think about the borders that define our country, they're completely arbitrary and made up. So we're defined by arbitrary borders. So we kind of are what we pretend to be, to quote Vonnegut again. So the fact that they're denying that this guy was a Maryland man, even though he lived there for 10 years, is like crazy because he hadn't done anything. So, but anyways, here, let's look at where is this here? Let's see if I can find it. It's going to cause me some problems here. Going to go look at Tim Pool press conference. So Tim Pool talks about this. Let's see here. I made a video about this, and let's eek. I can't watch because of my ad blocker. It's so irritating that I've made like literally thousands and thousands of hours. I haven't made thousands of hours, but I've created thousands and thousands of hours of views for YouTube, but they still insist that I have to watch ads before I can do anything on their stupid site. Panther, are you still here?
I am still here.
Okay. All right.
I'm
sometimes
trying to figure out why I can't hear you.
it's my fault. Here,
It's you.
it's my fault. If I let you hear me on the Zoom, then I'm going to double up. So, I don't know if there's a solution to that. Oh, there's the Reductio. Let's watch the Reductio's video. He has a brand new video today, and it came out like after I went to bed. So we're gonna watch. I'm gonna my ADHD is totally derailing me right now, and sorry, Panther, you're gonna have to switch to the live stream to see this. But
Okay.
we're gonna watch the Reductio's video because he's here. Everybody, if you're not familiar with Reductio, he's got a great little channel. I'm gonna link it, or somebody can link it for me. Let's see here. See, I'm already derailed. I was gonna play Tim Pool talking about the Maryland what was it that he said? The Maryland man hoax, where the guy they wanted to argue that he's not a Maryland man because he wasn't born there or something. It's absolutely crazy. But Tim Pool's not worth watching, but the Reductio is. So we're gonna look at. Let's see, look at Reductio ad absurdum. It's one of my favorite logical fallacies. But my absolute favorite logical fallacy would have to be post hoc ergo propter hoc. Therefore, after this, therefore because of this. It's just a classic fallacy. All right, so with the Reductio, he's got 250 views. That's pretty solid. That's pretty good for one day for a smaller channel.
So all
right, here we go. All right, everybody, in the Reductio channel right here, my good friend Hammy, subscribe here. Why doesn't it say I'm subscribed? Apparently I was subscribed on my personal account, but here we go. Let's see here. We're going to go back to the...
So I ghosted him.
Yes, the Reductio is way better than Temple. All right, everybody, here we go. And Hammy, if you want to join to come talk, there's a link in the Discord. You can talk about your video, or you can come in after we watch it. Gabriel Long says he's watched it already, so I'm already late to the game. Yeah, caught. I don't know why that wasn't, like, I'm subscribed on my personal account. Sometimes I don't really watch stuff on this account because I can't, because it constantly blocks me. So now we can all watch his video. Yeah, exactly, Vivi. No, but everybody should go in and like it. And I'm gonna just to clarify that I am subscribed on the other account, my personal account, where I actually watch stuff. I'll give him 2 updates, and everybody else should update the video. I'm gonna go do it. Yeah, it's like I gotta. It's such a pain in the ass to juggle all these stupid browsers to keep stuff separate. Anyways, I'm gonna give another update there. Here we go. And Hammy, did you want to join, or do you just want to watch and chat? I don't want to pressure you to do it. Bobby, I'm not Bobby. Sorry. Billy, whoever wants to do that can join here. All right. Rather than stumble and stammer more, it's not just tab groups. I'm supposed to keep my personal stuff.
Doxing tonight,
Yeah. Yes, I know. I'm so sorry. My personal life, I'm supposed to keep separate from the terminal mode stuff. So I use different browsers and I have to log in differently, and it creates all sorts of problems because the browser I use for terminal mode is Vivaldi, which doesn't let me play videos on my account. So I'm not logged in on the browser I can view, and it's just a big headache. So all right, Hammy, we're gonna play your video here.
So I ghosted him. I don't care if he's about to be head of the IRS. There's not enough political power in the world that would make going down on that bearable.
I don't know how you straight girls do it.
Oh God, watch your drink.
Oh,
so
crap.
I ghosted him.
Sorry, I hit the run button.
I don't care if he's about to be head of the IRS. There's not enough political power in the world that would make going down on that bearable.
I don't know how you straight girls do it.
Oh God, watch your drink.
Who's that?
Pete Hegseth. He's the Secretary of Defense.
You put the drops in the drink for good times. You give the drink to the lady for the better times.
I'm too big on this. I'm sorry, everybody. I was taking up the whole video. Sorry about that.
Get away from the damn jukebox. How many times have we been over this?
Maybe I should thump your tub, shithead.
No one's tub is getting thumped tonight. Just stay away from the jukebox, will you?
I heard he hasn't washed his hands in 10 years.
Who told you that?
He did. How's it going?
Oh, I have a very strict no fat chicks policy.
Fuck you too, Peter.
I'll drone your fat ass, bitch.
Hey, Pete, you want to split this White Claw? I have to drive home.
Mazel tov, Secretary Hegseth.
Ah, and a matzo ball to you too.
You really got the Houthis running scared.
Yeah, sure, sounds great. Hey, I need a solid, Ben.
Call me Bibi, please.
Habibi, I need you to announce that you're very sorry for accidentally droning my ex-wives to death.
Did that happen?
I'm not at liberty to share that information, Habibi, but yes. It was a totally random glitch in the software. Could have happened to anyone, but by sheer awful coincidence, that anyone turned out to be my ex-wife. And then my other ex-wife.
That's very unfortunate.
Incredibly. Tragic, even. But with everyone on my jock over the completely intentional decision to invite a fake news man to my attack plan chat, I really can't afford the optics right now. You guys, though, you get away with everything.
The thing is, I'm not sure I have the political capital to pull it off at this particular juncture.
Whoa. Is that a mixed Arab-Israeli couple?
Where?
I'd be happy to run with your story that Signal was designed by,
black programmers.
You mean DEI programmers, right?
Okay.
In any case, I normally run with that narrative, no questions asked. But these tariffs, man, they've got our shareholders really spooked. And I just don't know if that's something we...
They must have brought the deluxe Nachos Gordos back.
You're kidding me.
I see. Pete, I know you like this coat, but Usha would read me the riot act if I caught a cold on the way home.
I understand.
Wait, really?
You don't need to explain yourself to me. I just... Is that a father figure?
Where?
Look, I don't have the president's ear like you do. I talk to him, but I think only a quarter of what I say actually sticks. Can you please get him to stop using the bathroom in my wing of the building? I cannot deal with any more turnover.
Oh no, that poor woman just passed out by the ladies' room.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. Oh yes.
I guess it's time for Prince Charming to make an entrance. Was. oh, galoops. Oh, my head. Great taste in decor. Interesting. Cute. Whoa, I look good. That's not a real person. Huh?
Let's play a game.
Like Jenga?
You know, I guess it is a tower building game in a way.
Sweet.
Oh God, my stomach.
Hey. Hey. Are you all right?
Did I win?
Yeah, you sure did, buddy. You won slightly mitigated trauma. A very unwell woman was in the process of
ravishing him?
But hey, looks like you were saved by the bell.
The bell of salmonella.
Yes. The paramedics say she must have sat on something really, really nasty.
The CDC is even sending some people to track down the contaminant.
Not anymore. Their funding got doged again less than 5 minutes after they called, so we'll have to secure the contaminant. Speaking of, go get that Applebee's takeaway box from the car. We can put the sample in that. I don't suppose you've seen any, I don't know, chairs or stools that look particularly nasty, have you?
Yeah. No chairs or stools.
That was
What if
great.
the lottery was
All
on
right,
your phone?
I gotta whoa. Don't
With
wanna
real
see.
tickets.
The lottery on your phone. That's
Real
just what we
winners.
need. All right, Hammy, that was great. Even though it came with a promotion for our lottery on the phone, as if that needs to be made more convenient for people. Let's see here. So that looked like it took an extreme amount of effort. I don't think people realize just to create, at least for me, just to create, a couple minutes of animation or video where you're not just filming something is incredibly, it takes a long time. So I can't imagine how long this video took to make, but it's wonderful. Panther, are you still here?
I'm here now.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I
had to
guess
mute my microphone when the other one's
I
on.
messed you up that. So yeah, I can imagine. It's like weird because you probably suffer from the same thing that I do, that a lot of these things take so much effort to kind of make them look presentable to the public. And then by the time you get them done, it often feels like the relevance is not there. But luckily, like Pete Hegseth came back around. He was in the news there for a while about the Signal Gate thing, and then it came right back around, so it was perfect. Hammy is my good friend, the Reductio. So, and again, he made the video we just watched.
So I ghosted him.
The
It was very
Reductio,
good.
right
I
here.
still remember the last one that we watched on stream. It still
Yeah,
sticks
his
sticks with
Elon,
me.
the Elon one was really good too. So the Reductio, if I think I've got it up here. Hammy, the Reductio. Yeah, and it's kind of related. The video is kind of. I was working on another. Let's see if I can find it. I had a video, my Pete Hegseth video. I'll play my Pete Hegseth video. I always gotta say that I'm as talented as Hammy is by comparing myself, but I think by putting my videos next to his, it's obvious who's got the superior talent. But I had a Pete Hegseth video too, and I had a follow-up one. Let's see if I can.
What does Hegseth's stomach tattoo say?
I know he's got a Deus Vult one, which is like a, Christian nationalist tattoo, or that's what it really is. But they argue that it's not. Like, it's just weird. Like, I think anybody who gets, he's got a "We the People" tattoo. Let's look at his tattoos. He's got a "We the People" tattoo, and I think that anybody who gets a tattoo of a historical document on them is kind of a dork. That's my personal opinion. Like, just stupid. So, man, again with this. Okay, so Pete.
It's live, laugh, love in Arabic. That's hilarious. I knew that you're just so good with details on your animations that I knew you probably had a meaning for that was not love it.
Pete Hegseth tattoos. Okay, so you're talking about his actual, like Seth. I missed that detail.
I mean,
the video,
I figured that he had put a little joke in there. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah. So I did the same thing with my. It's funny, the tattoos thing has just become like ingrained in everybody's head. Like in my video, where was it? Actually, let me show the actual image. I can just show the image here. Let's see. I did something similar. So great minds think alike, apparently. So in mine, here's mine. Trump says that the girl in Grand Theft Auto was MS-13. So she's at the tattoo shop. She bought the tattoos, and there it is, MS-13. She's got MS-13. So we're working. It's like Wallace and Darwin, how they both came to the same conclusions about natural selection. Hammy and I, we were both on the same humor tips. And I had, let's see, I'll see if I can load it up. I don't know where it is. It's always so clumsy for me to find these things to share, because I'm never prepared. I always have other stuff. I get stuff ready and I'm like, okay, I'll share this. Like I did make, where is it? These aren't really related to anything, so it feel out of context. But sometimes I'll just put a bunch of stuff that I made that I never shared, completely not related to anything. Here it is. Well, I'm gonna play this video while I try to dig up my Pete Hegseth thing. So this was something for a while. Justin, of the friend of the channel, If Only, we were focused on Seinfeld, especially when he was his wife funded the counter protest at, I don't know if it was Columbia or wherever it was, where a bunch of people went and beat up the protesters. So there was a campaign to kind of, give Jerry Seinfeld a hard time. So the part of it was renewing the old, what was it? When he was 38, he had the 17-year-old girlfriend. So here was one that I made in that thing while I'm trying to find my Hegseth video. All right, so that was that, and apparently it was not enough time for me to locate this video. Pantha, do you have anything you could talk about while I try to locate this Hegseth thing?
Wait a second. You want me to talk?
I always want you to talk.
We'll chat. We'll do some workflows.
Workflows. All right, here we go. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that does not. Okay, there we go. All right. So talk about your.
What do we got here, chat? I don't think that's anything. We're gonna done and talk that one. Nope, that's not one. Pattern recognition. Let's go, chat. Nope. Nope. Nah, that's not one. Let's keep going.
We got a lot of other people who should be good at pattern recognition. It's something that this community should excel in. So let's make a supercomputer here. We'll daisy chain our brains together.
I don't know. That's kind of sus. This last one right here is sus. Let's look a little closer. I don't know, chat. That might be something. I might just mark this yes and done and talk, and then we'll see. Is this an? I'm not feeling super strong about that one, but I'll still mark it. Am I sharing the right one?
You're as bad as I am as far as that goes.
Like, which one am I sharing? So which video you're trying to find again?
I got a Pete Hegseth video that I wanted to share in terms of I was working on. I have this other series. So I have, if you follow my channel at all, I'm trying to make these like little series that I can tie together in terms and make them larger shows. So like my Elon Ends It suicide video, if you watch those in sequence, there's actually a story there. And I was trying to do the same thing with this joint session, which is old news. But I think I have it ready here. We're going to have to watch it in Blender because I never rendered this one out. And I need some jokes for this. So I'm going to switch back to me. Sorry. I do like the pattern recognition, and I do think that we have a supercomputer going here with all of the people in chat. David O. The chat is through video.ninja, which is essentially like a Zoom thing, but it's open source and it's free to use, and there's no limitations on it. And I hadn't been using it for a while because I hadn't had anybody willing to come and talk to me on the stream. But now that I did my anti-mom propaganda on Mother's Day, I got my good friend Panther to come back. So is there a way to watch without the green circle?
No, you're watching what's inside the green circle. You're only supposed to see is the object in the green circle that the AI has marked as a possible object. Is that a moving asteroid? So let me get to the bout.
And Panther, before I share this video, we got to talk about something real quick. Panther had shared some plants with me the other day that had a little dinosaur in it. And Lamp, are you here? If Lamp's here, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
We got to talk about it. Let's see if I can find my browser here. I saw Lamp in here earlier, and we were talking about you earlier in the week, Lamp.
So let's see what Toasted said. AI tagged images of satellite data to confirm comets, asteroids, objects in the sky. So it's the Catalina Sky Survey, and it's a NASA-funded project. It's looking for near-Earth asteroids or objects that are buzzing around, and it's part of the Planetary Defense System. Right here, Planetary Defense at NASA. So we're watching out for near-Earth objects and asteroids. There's just so many of them that you can't track them just with the human eye alone. There's just hundreds of thousands of things flying around out in space. So the AI tags the objects, and then you have to go through and parse and say, is this really an object, or is it like an artifact of the bad imaging? Because like this image right here, you can see all of like the artifacts here, but it still looks like that object is moving. So I'm still going to mark this as yes.
All right, so back to my gosh, I was trying to find your picture of your little stegosaurus in the plant, because we were talking about, and you said that you spent $10 on that stegosaurus. We were talking. I assume we got a lot. We got a lot of dinosaur lovers here in the chat too. There are people who like pattern recognition, huge fans of dinosaurs. Most of us, at least. I'm going to switch here to this Lamp. We were talking. Panther and I were talking about these snails of yours, and she puts these little guys in her plants, and we were wondering if you sell these snails, and I could buy some and send them to Panther. So you'll have to get in touch with me on the Discord and let me know. Because we really love those. So
I'll just send you the photo again so you can have it real quick.
Yes, Average AB. We all love turtles around in this chat, especially Charlie. Charlie is the official turtle of the live stream in this community. So Charlie the Turtle on friend of the channel, Turtle Time Voiceovers channel. So Hammy, I'm sorry about the video. All my Pete Hegseth stuff, it's the first one is already on my YouTube channel. The second one is not done, but it's basically kind of the same jokes about him going to strip clubs and harassing people. Am I sharing my screen?
I put it in Discord for you.
All right, so here's this video. People probably already seen it. It was the one about, let's see here.
It's total fake news that Pete Hegseth was shit-faced when we shared classified information with a journalist. In fact, Pete has just provided me with some documents he printed out this morning at Office Max that place complete responsibility for the security breach on not just the journalist himself, but also on 2 of Pete's undocumented gardeners and some random dude he saw yesterday that he is convinced is probably woke or gay or both. So today I am proud to announce that every one of them will be publicly executed in the morning so we can make America great again. Pete has promised me that after we take his kids to see the executions, that he's going to try and drink less when he's in the Situation Room, and also maybe even when he picks his kids up from school. This is real. Nobody feels safe when Pete's at the wheel.
So that video is already on. And sorry, Panther, you're not going to be able to hear it. That video is on my YouTube channel. And it was a much longer video, but then I cut it up, and here was the second part of it. And I didn't finish this, but it's kind of the same. It's in line with some of Hammy's making fun of Pete. Uh-oh. Apparently my audio is not there. Uh-oh. Oh, brother. This is how everything goes.
Brother.
I moved this file, and now it's not going to be there. I can't share it. Basically the same thing, but he says that he's appointed some generals to be his sponsors in DUI, and then they raise their hands. So this did not happen, obviously, in the joint session. There are 2 groups of people that sit in the front of the joint session, and they never clap and they never smile or they never do anything. The Supreme Court and the generals, they're just supposed to sit there stoically and pretend to be impartial. But I used AI to make them wave their hands and smile, and then Pete gives them a little fist bump because they're gonna be his sponsors in AI. And then Donald Trump says that they go to the strip club and that they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to grab women by the pussies. And the 2 girls look at Melania like that. That was a real part of the video. And then Christy nods that that's acceptable for them to do. And then Pete gives a thumbs up about it. So anyways, I was working on that video. Sorry I couldn't play the audio, but basically the second half to this other thing. I'm supposed to continue this thing. This is like number 6 in that series. So, Turtle Time has geckos, red, white mushrooms, and else. Okay, I thought you said you don't have real red, white mushrooms. I assume.
I also have lots of things in my plants too. I'll share some more for you.
Here, well, let's. Yeah, do you have anything you can share? We can talk about.
I'm putting it in Discord.
Oh, okay. We'll put it. Let's go back to the. There you go. We're back on your asteroids. So.
Oh, well, let me change it. Oh no, you can share from your Discord. That way I don't have to dox all my Discord tabs.
Oh, you don't just have images? You can. I already shared like a bunch of private conversations there. If people want to go back and look over the Discord, so I'm already
I don't have them on
completely
my
embarrassed.
Computer. They're all on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that I was thinking of psilocybin. Isn't psilocybin also red and white? But yeah, I guess there are other ones too. Let's see here. I had this. I don't know why I have this video here, but I wanted to play it just because I was thinking of the the Grand Theft Auto, and how everything in our society has to be over the top and violent, movies and video games. That's what draws people's attention. And it reminded me of this scene from Adaptation. So I want to share this scene because every time I see the ending of it, it makes me laugh. So let's see here. Here we go. Yeah, as far as the red and white mushrooms, it's been a long time. I thought that in Super Mario, the whole thing was that they were red and white. I thought it was psilocybin in Super Mario, but I could be completely wrong. Thank you, Lamp, for clarifying. Everybody knows more about psilocybin than I do. All right, so here it is. This scene in Adaptation, which I think is probably my favorite movie of all time. The more and more I think about it, but this scene in particular is just so good. So, in the movie, Nick Cave plays Nick Cave. Nick Cave. He plays Charlie Kaufman, but he also plays a twin brother, and the whole concept of the movie is it's a very meta movie that he's got to adapt this book, The Orchid Thief, into a Hollywood movie. And The Orchid Thief is just this kind of sprawling New Yorker type bit of writing about a guy who illegally harvested white ghost orchids through using that's a tribe in Florida. Anyways, there was a tribe that's kind of like, I should know this. He used the Indian tribe to harvest this ghost orchid. And anyways, the book follows this, and he's supposed to make an adaptation of the book, but instead he makes the story of him making the book. So Charlie Kaufman is trying to write the story, and his twin brother is like the antithesis of who he is. Charlie Kaufman wants to write a realistic story, but his brother wants him to turn it into a Hollywood movie. And that's why the movie's so great, because his brother essentially takes over the writing of the movie and turns it into this Hollywood movie. It's a really, really good movie, but this scene in particular makes me laugh.
Yes.
Sir, what if a writer is attempting to create a story where nothing much happens, where people don't change, they don't have any epiphanies, they struggle and are frustrated and nothing is resolved? More a reflection of the real world.
The real world?
Yes, sir.
The real fucking world. First of all, you write a screenplay without conflict or crisis, you'll bore your audience to tears. Secondly, nothing happens in the world? Are you out of your fucking mind? People are murdered every day. There's genocide, war, corruption. Every fucking day, somewhere in the world, somebody sacrifices his life to save somebody else. Every fucking day, someone somewhere takes a conscious decision to destroy someone else. People find love, people lose it. For Christ's sake, a child watches a mother beaten to death on the steps of a church. Someone goes hungry. Somebody else betrays his best friend for a woman. If you can't find that stuff in life, then you, my friend, don't know crap about life. And why the fuck are you wasting my 2 precious hours with your movie? I don't have any use for it. I don't have any bloody use for it.
Okay, thanks.
It just makes me laugh every time I see the ending where he says, "Okay, thanks." And
Yeah.
the funny thing about the movie are the meta references there. How he's making a movie about him making a movie of a book, and right there where Brian tells him, "Why the fuck are you wasting my 2 hours with your movie?" He's talking directly to Charlie Kaufman about it, and just the thanks at the end is so wonderful. Back to mushrooms now. The ADHD is kicking in, and my lack of knowledge thereof. I've always loved mushrooms, but like eating them. And when I was a kid, like I was 6 years old, was in the front yard of the apartment complex we lived in, and there was a bunch of mushrooms growing, and the kids are like, "Ew, mushrooms!" I'm like, mushrooms are delicious, and I picked one off the ground and I ate it, and ended up having to go to the hospital and having my stomach pumped because they were like, "Oh shit, what kind of mushroom is this?" So there's my mushroom story. I have a long history of being clueless about mushrooms. All right. So there's that.
I remember as a child playing out with my cousins, like picking random shit up from the yard and wrapping it in leaves and trying to dare each other to eat it. I don't know how we didn't poison ourselves either.
How are we still alive? We talked about this on the Discord about how
Fucking 80s, man.
when we were kids, we did like insane stuff. What was it that we were specifically talking about? Oh, they were talking. Somebody was talking. I think it was David. David O was talking about the laptop challenge about sticking pencils into your Chromebook computer, and they had to send a note out to become a note out to tell the kids not to do the TikTok challenge about sticking lead into your lithium-ion batteries because they were catching on fire. And then we started talking about all the things you do when you're young to kind of feel something, to feel excitement. AB, I'm not a straight edger anymore. I used to be a big straight edge person, and I used to think, oh, I never want to poison my mind. I would never do that. We were talking about the things crazy kids do. The skater kids in our neighborhood would use a little motorbike to draw people over the street ramps we would make, and people would fall and crack their heads open because they were going so fast. Same kids would also what'd they do? They would spray paint into socks with tennis balls and inhale them. And I was like, fuck, I'm not doing that. I would probably have been dragged behind the motorbike because that didn't seem as bad, landing and having your head cracked over them. But the idea of actually destroying your brain, I guess I was susceptible to all the anti-drug propaganda of the 80s. I was like, I don't want to ruin my brain. So I never did that.
Jumping over a ramp on a skateboard is way cooler.
It's
huffing paint.
It's cooler, but we were just talking about the crazy things that kids will do just to feel some excitement because I guess I don't know, but there's probably like a feedback loop between our I got a black screen here that I'm sharing this, so that's really cool. Here, let's see if I can put Digby on the screen or something at least. Yeah, huffing just seems like incredibly crazy because you're just directly destroying your brain cells. And I was always a person who valued my brain because like when you're told that you're really smart, you kind of like, oh, I guess that's my best trait. So I don't want to screw that up.
For real.
But
I feel that.
Yeah. But as you get older, like as I got older, I was like, probably a lot of this results in a lot of the anxieties I feel. So like I totally use alcohol way more than I should to reduce anxieties. And I'm clearly destroying my brain with that too, and my liver, but it actually feels like it offsets the suffering I feel as far as the anxieties of thinking that I got to do something with my brain. All right. Oh, I didn't know. So yeah, David sent the, let's see if I can share that. He sent it. What was it called? I'm a little leery about opening up these browsers because I'm constantly doxing even when I'm not actually saying people's names, I'm sharing the most intimate moments. That video is on, it was on Instagram. This is here's Lamp's glasswork, everybody. So if you're on Instagram, check Lamp's stuff out. There's her Doge. Some cool stuff here. I like these little guys. Those guys are cool too. So awesome.
I love little shit like that.
Yeah.
So much little shit like that in my place. It's like my kryptonite.
Turtle Time. David O is somebody in the chat. Somebody who was part of the book club, fellow Vonnegut fan. So on the Discord, David shared a video. It's probably on YouTube. Let's see if we can find it on YouTube. Let's see. Myself. What is it? Or is it called what are those things called where you spin around on the playground? Merry-go-round? I'm all caps. I'm got caps lock on here. Motor cycle.
It's merry-go-round.
Let's see if this, I don't think, okay, apparently this is a thing. There's a bunch of them. So this was the.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Look at that going. I loved merry-go-rounds. Do some stupid shit.
At least these guys, look at them. They're all wearing the helmets because they realize how dangerous this is. The video that David shared was with kids not wearing helmets, and one of them gets thrown off. And TZ was talking about being traumatized by this. He wasn't actually engaged here and doing this. This video is terrible.
We did shit like that as a kid, and I loved it.
Where's the one that I don't know which one was the one that he shared. I didn't realize it. Apparently this is what happens on social media, is like one person shares it and every other ding dong does it, and then somebody gets killed, and it's like a lawn dart. None of us can enjoy lawn darts anymore because somebody threw one up in the head in air and went through somebody's brain. I don't know. Anyways, it was something similar, but the kid gets thrown out of the merry-go-round. I would like when David shared the original video, that guy got thrown out. I had no idea that they were using a scooter. I was like, how are they doing that?
I shouldn't be laughing so hard.
We should get together and do this sometime. Like these things, like just the thought of it now, like I remember when you're a little kid, you're like, you kind of enjoyed it, but now the thought of like one rotation on that just makes me want to vomit. So, all right.
Definitely break a hip doing that now, but
you're on Facebook. Yeah, I've never signed up for Facebook. When Facebook, I probably repeat this so many times. When it came out, I was like, oh, this is a site where you can reconnect with people from high school. No thanks. So I deliberately never signed up for it just because of that, just because I didn't want anybody from high school contacting me. Even though like I'm always into technology and I'm always into using technology to connect to people, it just seemed like the worst way to connect with the worst people. So I always avoided it. I avoided Instagram too for similar reasons. But I'm on Instagram now just because I've been told that you kind of have to, if you want to, do anything with your creative content, you got to be everywhere. So I post my videos to Instagram. And I'm like right now, there is, let's see. I don't know if I shared different. Yeah, I've actually shared different things on Instagram. Let's see here. I don't. Yeah, I guess I posted that. Here's a video that I did. It's just on. Or maybe
I only care.
Oh, I did post this to YouTube Shorts. So
I don't actually care about free speech.
Yeah,
I only care about using my power to influence elections.
For those of us who don't want to get TikTok.
Say that again. I talked over you. I'm sorry.
It said it's the backup TikTok for everyone who doesn't want to get it.
Yeah, I don't know. TikTok seems like it's a better format, but it's really annoying in terms of like if you've got sensory issues, every time you open it up, it's like yelling at you. It's feeding you a video. And I've always hated that. Like I've always believed that when you open up something, like Instagram is doing the polite thing by muting the video before you see it. And then so you don't get somebody screaming at you. But TikTok is all just about screaming at you, screaming for attention. Lamp says that they need to delete their Facebook finally. Yeah, I mean, the social media profiles thing, kind of harboring our histories is problematic, but you can be like Pantha. Pantha had a DeviantArt page, and I used to always go to her DeviantArt page
I deleted it.
until she deleted it, and I'm so mad. I should have never mentioned it because I would. Because every couple of years I'd be like, look, I gotta go look at the My Little Pony again.
Look,
so
I deleted it after I started doing the NASA stuff, and when I was applying for jobs, I was like, what? It's a little too cringe.
Yeah, it's like it. I feel like the same way. Like you sent the link for that job editing that video for the channel that does anthropology. I was like, wow, that actually seems like pretty perfect for me since I actually have a background in anthropology, but since I've never really had a real job, I no longer have a resume. And so I had nothing really that is impressive to like link to. I never made a demo reel or something that's not completely polarizing or political. So like everything that I have to share to show that I could do this is likely to set somebody off. Even if you are left leaning and you're making content that is science, you don't want somebody to politicize your science. That's the difference between the left and the right, is that they want it to be politicized, but the left doesn't. That's not what we should be doing. We should not be making science something that is a political issue. So anywho, Dustin says that check Facebook once or twice a year. My sister posts stuff about nephews there, but other than that, it's a site for old people and those who aren't terminally online. Yeah, that's the thing, is like you can see all of these sites are kind of linked to different generations. Like I noticed the YouTube demographic is like 10, 15 years younger than me. So, but I want to be 10 or 15 years younger because people my age generally are pretty uninteresting. Let's see. Lamp's going to do OBSEC in the coming weeks and transfer most of what I do over to secure types of things. We'll see the last round of executive orders. Yeah, the suspension of habeas corpus is bad. That's really bad. That's like one thing that you learn when you're in like 7th grade civics, that there needs to be a body of evidence in order for you to bring somebody to trial for something. And the suspension of that means that pretty much everybody, if they can get rid of that, everybody's at risk, because that means that they don't have to have any evidence to lock you up or send you away. So, anywho, that's that. Is there anything else? Should I share the video again? Did people miss this video? Were people here? I guess people can just watch it when I post it on the. I always feel like I should share these things more than once on the stream, just in case somebody missed it. But this is more of a hangout than something intended to promote, to be self-promotional. Bring back Double Jeopardy. Yeah, in the case of, in some cases, like I'd like to see Double Jeopardy brought back for Trump, because it's amazing that it's amazing that he did what he did, and he still, there's nothing that has happened to him. And it's crazy that they say that, the argument on the right is that they were using lawfare, that they're using the legal system against somebody. But really, our system has so many checks and balances in place that while that is possible, you kind of have to be a criminal in his class of citizens. You have to be a criminal to have lawfare used against you. Lawfare is used against, poor people. We get caught up in the legal system and, have to pay fines, or else we have to be locked up. So lawfare is used against poor people, but it's seldom used against Trump's class. So the fact that he's saying that lawfare is being used against him just illustrates how much of a criminal he is. Turtle Time says, I've been in an ongoing fight with my father about my post on Facebook. It's awesome to get told that you didn't do any research in front of all your friends. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook is so... they talk about brain rot for the alpha generation, but Facebook is clear. Just because it's not filled with terminology that needs to be explained, brain rot was around long before Gen Alpha was accused of it, because Facebook, all of these senior citizens, I blame Facebook for why the country is in the shithole that it is. The place that it is now, because it just...
I absolutely agree. There's just way too much boomer brain rot on
Yeah.
Facebook. 6 years ago, I deactivated mine, watching family members fight.
Yeah.
My cousin and my uncle getting into it.
It's nuts, because and there were some kind of protections, like there's supposed to be like a trust and safety department and fact checking, and now we've actually gone in the opposite direction. So that means that we're going to be in a worse situation with that particular group of people, because the propaganda and the misinformation and the disinformation is going to be accelerated. So we're going to be in an even worse place. If you can think about how that point in time where Facebook started spreading some of these things like QAnon and whatnot, to the point where, January 6th or whatever, that distance in time is going to be awful in the near future because of how Facebook's going to destroy these people. And they're not dying. They're not dying quick enough. I think we need the elderly generation just to die out. If they don't want to just shut up and enjoy their comfortable lives in their houses, that they don't have to pay, $5,000 to rent a 1-bedroom apartment, then they just need to die. I mean, there's no other solution to it. Oh.
Well, that's kind of how I felt about my grandparents and their racism. It's like they're not going to change.
Yeah, there's just you can't.
Yeah.
I like how we're having a heady conversation here, and I've just got Digby sitting there looking. I should at least I should at least be on screen here. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can put myself. All right, here I am.
Where's Squish at?
I don't know. He didn't get to go out today, but he's been pretty good. Normally he'll come over here and start knocking over the camera. The Mediocrity Network is asking, how do you approach self-promotion? I feel weird promoting stuff. Yes, this is a thing that it's a delicate line too. Like for me, one of the things I do is try to exaggerate the self-promotion and kind of make it a parody of capitalism. Like if I make a commercial like I did here in this video, not this video. At the end of this,
We have long shift.
For the next Capitol riot.
That was a long shift.
Lucia, let's do this. Summer savings are here, and we've got everything you need to build a gallows for the next Capitol riot.
That was a long shift.
The Home Depot. How doers get
Every time I see the Home Depot thing, I just think, how thrilled would No Pixel role players on Twitch be to have an actual Home Depot?
There is a Home Depot. They've made a mod for it. There's a home.
I'm sure they would love it if it is real.
That's in like, the Incubator was asking me. She's like, so is this real? Did Home Depot paid? Let's see if I can find it. I have it here on my desktop. So it's right here.
Because in the game and the role-playing No Pixel, they have grow operations and grow gangs. I could imagine they'd love.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that that's how like banal people's lives are. That they want to go into a game, and then the game isn't thrilling enough, so they end up doing the banal thing in the game. Really proud of my graphic work here, everybody. So this is what I was talking about with Hammy, is like sometimes you spend so much time on doing one thing. So this girl, she clearly in the game it doesn't say Home Depot, but and this is all like people like accuse me of AI slop. I animated this all by hand. I redrew that Home Depot in through Blender, each frame, 80 frames to get her to have the Home Depot vest on. That's how dedicated I am to this cause. So anyways, making a commercial to promote yourself. Back to that. I do this and it tends to be viewed, there's almost a joke to it when you do something like that. If you can make light of yourself as a brand, it seems like a fair way to promote yourself. But the other thing that I think is trying to build a community where you're not really promoting yourself, but you're promoting the ideas that you value. And so if then you can get other people to help, like people who are on something like Reddit. If you build a community of people like that and you say, you just basically allow your stuff. Like I'm not possessive about my material at all. People can, as long as they don't rebrand it as their own, wherever it goes, I'm not making any money on it. It's about the ideas behind them. So if other people put them on their pages, I'm fine with that, or put them on, wherever. So that's one way that I've been doing it. Like I have the Terminal Mode subreddit where I post the videos there.
Hang on one moment.
Okay.
There's a cat meowing outside my door.
All right. Yeah, AB, I think it's also sincerity, and also people have to understand your I lost my point. Sincerity is important, But your purpose, if people think you're trying to sell them something, people are always going to be questioning what you're doing. So if you're promoting something that you're not selling, it makes it easier. It makes it easier if you don't have a pitch at the end. If you make it clear that that by promoting yourself, you're promoting an idea that you value. It goes back to that thing that Chomsky says, where Chomsky says that we shouldn't be putting people on pedestals. We should be putting ideas out there. We should be not worshiping the ideas, but we should be pushing the ideas rather than the people. Because the ideas themselves, if they're good, they won't fail us. Whereas the people behind them, you'll always get people criticizing them. Chomsky, for example, people say, "Oh, he met with Epstein," and therefore all of his ideas have been, don't no longer have worth. So that's how I look at self-promotion, because self-promotion can be incredibly gross. Even though I clearly am doing it. Like I always push Turbo Mode and always say, here's the brand. But that's because I think people are used to that sort of advertising. And as long as I make it clear that, like I said, I'm not trying to get you to subscribe to, my hustle class. I'm not trying to do that. As long as you make it clear that you're sincere and that you're not out to separate people from their wallet, their money in their wallet, then I think people are okay with self-promotion. See. And also like networking. If you network with other people, the thing is, when you make yourself more a part of a synergistic organism rather than just an individual, if it's a community, it's easier to promote too. Because, like I said, people are always suspect of one person saying something. But if it seems like there's also, I guess, that could be construed as cult-like behavior. But I find like when you connect to other artists and you kind of create symbiosis between each other, it also feels less self-promotional. When Hammy's in here and we get to watch his videos, that is promoting him, and he's participating in a degree of self-promotion because I'm doing it. It's more of a community effort. So anything you can do to connect to other artists is always useful. So if anybody needs help with that, I'm always willing to help, as long as it's not something that completely violates my personal morals, which I consider myself to have some. I'm willing to help promote anybody. Yeah, David, there are lots of criticisms of Chomsky. And he's like, the reason I go back to Chomsky is just because he was, at the time that I was learning political science, he was kind of the big anti-imperialist, and nobody else was really speaking out like he was. Whereas these days you get a lot more of it. But back, prior to 2000, he was the guy. These days he's a bit out of touch. He signed that document with Barry Weiss, the free speech thing. So he's not the same thinker, but it doesn't mean that you have to discount everything he says. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. In 25 years, internet ephemera products will be collector's items. That's like that's an interesting idea. I mean, also just the idea of virtual things, having real value is, something. TM scroll has last chance going on toasted, sees it. It's not. Scroll up. Hold on one second. Yeah, before I scroll up, I'm going to address Lamps. The ground news copy pasta. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever, I don't think I'd ever do a sponsored ad for anything. It seems gross to me just to take money and push people on another product. Unless you're like absolutely convinced that the thing is incredible. Yeah. Ad readings are problematic. All right, so we're going back to, we're scrolling up through. TT posted a video. What was it? Okay, 58 seconds, funny video. Here it is. And That's so funny. I love parrots. I don't know if people have followed the. Here, let's look at this.
Now, a Mother's Day message.
Oh my
SNL.
gosh, let's not watch this. Alex the gray parrot. So there was a parrot that this. I think she was at the University of Tucson.
Okay, I'm back.
We're just about to talk about Alex the parrot.
Oh, sweet. And then
Are you familiar
do
with
the
it?
"What You Doing, Bird." Did you do that one too?
I'm not. Sure, I'm familiar with this, but I just don't remember. I just like Turtle Time just shared the video in which the parrot is screaming. Did you see it? You probably missed it.
I caught the end of it, but I had seen that video.
So the guy is working on his car casually, and there's it sounds like a woman screaming in the background, and he's ignoring it because he knows it's his bird. And then somebody calls the cops, and they come, and he brings the parrot out, and the parrot says, "Hi," so made me think of Alex the parrot, who I always loved, who died a tragic death. Like apparently she came in one day and he was just dead. This was a
buzzkill.
Yeah, Alex the parrot. Let's see if I don't know what this video is. I've not seen it, but
R.I.P. Alex.
Alex, what matter? That's right. You're a good
Alex
boy.
can answer different questions about the same object.
Come on. How many corners? What shape? What shape? Four corner. Good boy.
Alex hasn't just learned to say
You
a
gotta tell
certain
me.
word when he sees a particular
many?
object. He's
How
paying
many?
attention to the questions.
How many? Two. That's right. You're a good boy. No, sweetie. No, you can't go back yet. You gotta. You want some water? All right. Do you want some water, or are you just asking to interrupt?
Okay,
just
okay.
asking to
Alex is pretty cool, but have you seen the bird who says Shrek?
all right, let's see. What is this? Anyways, Alex was part of a project to try to see if birds could actually, comprehend human language and understand, rather than just being mimicry. And there's still some question to whether he actually could understand these things, because sometimes you can prompt an animal, like the animal could be seeing the woman doing something, and she's kind of feeding. This was famous with like the horse was counting, but basically they were just feeding the horse information, and they would just stop the horse counting. So there's still some question on this, but it was a fascinating study. And he died tragically. Alex, R.I.P. Okay, so what am I supposed to look up? What was it?
Just look at Parrot Shrek.
Parrot Shrek.
This bird's basically doing the same thing. Any of those shorts will work. He's
What's this
identifying
called?
objects like Alex.
Shrek? What's this made of? Rock. What's this called? Rock. No. Rock. No. Shrek. What's this made of? Glass. What am I doing? Water. Okay, what am I doing? What's this called? Glass. It's made of glass. What's this called? Glass. No, it's made of Shrek.
See, Turtle Time knows.
Turtle Time has seen this too. Let's see. Apollo. Yep, Apollo and Friends. Yeah, I mean, I think human beings like to see this, but we often mistake patterns, or like we mistake certain patterns for things that we kind of are designed to think. Like with eyes, like when we see eyes in an object, we think it's a face just because we've evolved that way. And same thing with a parrot. The parrot necessarily is not communicating; it's just operating off of cues, I think, because their brains are wired for a completely different social syntax, right? I don't think we can ever really have a conversation with a parrot, just because our brains evolved down a path line of, primate abilities and primate communication, and their brains are completely different. So, but I love gray parrots, just because of Alex. And we had parrots as kids too. We had a macaw, and he used to torture our cat all the time.
Yeah, I think birds in general, big birds in general, are creepy as fuck.
Yeah. Dustin Rodriguez got it. It was Clever Hans. It was the horse. That was his name. Were they Clever Hans? See, I don't it's weird because I have like a repository of like general information, but I hardly, once I get the gist of it, I don't dig deep enough to actually remember most of the details for it. So, but there was the whole story where it's basically human beings. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. Like there was a Red Letter Media they just did a video on what was it? The best of the worst on. Shoot, it's not going to come up here. It was the one they just did. It was about pet psychics. Let's see, we'll go to their video. And these people.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing people get into. It's
pet
ridiculous.
Psychics. Yeah, they were talking. These pet psychics are just talking about the things they heard the animals say and whatnot. And it's basically, I mean, it's no different than like cold reading and that type of thing. The most intentional is the elephants who paint. Yeah, that happened at the Phoenix Zoo here. I think they had an elephant who painted. And the idea is that it is funny because we read into it, oh, this elephant is painting. But basically, because the brain is completely different and elephants really have no idea of art because art is only a human construct. So no other animal is going to understand any form of art just because they've evolved down a different evolutionary path line. So the idea, but people want to think that. People want to think that the elephant is creating art because they want to think that they share some degree of kinship with this other animal. Yo-Yo Big Man says, the more you know. And yep, that's always something. All right, let's see. Oh, Dustin, I missed the comment about they're an extremely sad bunch of parents convinced that they can let their nonverbal autistic children communicate, but it's almost certainly that effect. Yeah, and there's like, think that we experience that with like human beings. I mean, on some level, like you got to feel bad for these people, but on another level, it's irritating because a lot of these people end up hurting not just the people around them, but you know, it can happen to where you're doing far worse. Like with Terry Schiavo, she was in a coma and they were saying that because they so badly wanted to think that there was somebody there, they would read just the most, you know, minor behaviors as her communicating. So Dustin Rodriguez is saying animals don't understand images and neither do humans. Panther, what do you think? Do humans understand images? It's a thought-provoking comment because it's intended. It's intended to rack your brain. I have a friend who said that there's a phenomenon where I can't remember what it's called, but you can't. If you're told to think of an apple, that some people can't actually visualize the apple, and there's a phenomenon.
I'm just distracted by cat paws coming underneath my door, very desperately. I'll take a photo for you. They're very desperate to come in while we're talking about whether they have sentience or not here.
So anyways, this idea that you can actually visualize something in your head and that there are people who can't do this. I was like, when my friend told me this, he said, can you visualize an apple? And then sometimes when you think about it, you're like, well, no, I'm not actually visualizing the apple as it really exists because human consciousness is like incredibly complicated and you're not really seeing the apple as it exists in the real world. It's just your brain's reinterpretation of the stimuli that it received and how it's reorganizing in your brain to make you understand this object or think you do. So, aphantasia, I believe that's correct. Toasted, let's look this up. We're going to look up, let's see here. And my argument here was aphantasia. The inability to voluntarily visualize mental images. The phenomenon was first described by Francis Galton in 1880, but has remained relatively unstudied. Interest in the phenomenon renewed after publication of study in 2015 conducted by a team of Adam Zeman at the University of Exeter. Zeman's team coined the term aphantasia, derived from the Greek word phantasia, which means appearance image, and the prefix a, which means without. People with aphantasia are called aphantasiacs, or less commonly aphants or aphantasiacs. So my friend was like, oh, he thinks this is linked to, certain neurodivergence and whatnot. So he was asking me if I also thought it. And I was like, I have to believe that I am not aphantasia, because like if you were masturbating and you had aphantasia, you're masturbating to nothingness. And I thought that's an incredibly disconcerting notion, that for my entire life I was having erotic thoughts about nothing. But I guess if you're a nihilist, that's kind of something that you do.
Wow. I guess for me, I know that I can see and visualize things. When I had my cognitive testing done, one of my highest scoring cognitive abilities was visuospatial reasoning. And like I could draw out and see in my head pretty much the layout of every house I've ever been in. But if you ask me to recall any conversations I've had with pretty much anybody recently, like it's a blank. It's a complete blank remembering what people say. But
like
I
even
could draw
like,
out the,
are you saying you don't remember anything I say? You clear? It seems like you do. I want to think that I'm special. That it's only the trivial conversations that you forget.
Yeah, it is the trivial. It's trivial information coming at me that I don't remember. Like sequences of numbers, can't memorize those. Never going to happen. Phone numbers, dates of birth, people's
Really?
birthdays.
You don't memorize things? Because like me, a fellow pattern recognizer, I like categorizing items is something I do, like I've always done, like knowing categories of dinosaurs and knowing categories of synthesizers and knowing, these it's just something that my brain just can't help doing, memorizing these things and categorizing them. So I would think that you had that too.
For me, it's like part of my attention span turns off when people are talking to me. Is the only way. Like I have to actually focus on what somebody's saying. Like really focus. Otherwise it just goes through one ear and out the other. Or I don't even notice that they're talking. Sometimes I'll repeat myself and say, huh. In real life, I'm always asking people to repeat what they say, because if I'm not looking right at them and paying attention, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not recording. My brain isn't recording it. But when I walk into a building or any space, my mind is just automatically recording whether I want it to or not.
Yeah. I think Lamp is right that there is a spectrum, and that you're hardly ever one way or the other. Most of us fall somewhere in between, and we have these kind of vague notions of both ends of things. And TZ's saying there are people who don't have inner dialogues either. And that seems like intriguing to me, because I constantly think about like schizophrenics and how we probably all have these voices that we hear that say, kind of like the devil and the angel on your shoulder talking to you. We probably all have these, and the way a normal human brain works is it like just kind of suppresses them and kind of molds them into one thing. So the idea that you wouldn't have any voice seems just as crazy as just hearing voices, multiple voices all the time.
I would say that my inner dialogue, I know it's there, and it's like I'm talking to myself, but having done acid before and actually heard voices, it's definitely a different thing.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, yeah, all of the human psychology is fascinating, and it's just unfortunate that we're at a point where apparently people want to know less about ourselves, because the more we know about ourselves, the more we realize that we're not really in control of what we do, and we should probably be less cruel to each other. But the opposite side right now, they want to blame everybody for everything, or they want to blame other people for everything, and that requires a lack of understanding of science.
I would just say that having my cognitive spectrum testing done, the 2 sessions that I did to have all my cognitive abilities, was like finding out how your D&D sheet was rolled. Like, I always knew I had problems with audio-verbal issues, but I didn't realize the severity of it until I had the cognitive testing done. And it was explained to me that my audio-verbal is so low compared to my visual, capabilities, that I notice that there's a huge gap in my abilities, and it gives me anxiety.
Yeah. Dustin is recommending Oliver Sacks books to Lamp, and Oliver Sacks, he's a beautiful writer. If anybody's read, he wrote the book that Awakenings is based on. I don't know if people remember that movie where these patients are stuck kind of in a catatonic state, and he manages to bring them out. But also, I just love Oliver Sacks because of the title of the book, "The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat." I think that's like just an awesome title for a book. It draws you in, and you're like, what the fuck? You mistook. It's just so cool. But Oliver Sacks had a really, he's no longer with us. He had a really beautiful way of writing. So let's see. It requires a lack of basic reasoning to constantly blame the other. The thing though is that it depends on like what your underlying, law principles for your logic are. That's why I bring up how logic is not a thing to focus on, because if somebody has bad premises and they're extremely logical, you can come up with like incredibly stupid ideas. So it's why like empathy is a better way of governing ourselves, because as long as empathy has some shortcomings, you can have people who will can be overly empathetic and be too easy on certain circumstances and make something worse. I think of like a lot like end of life situations. Like sometimes people with too much empathy can make it harder on everybody because they get caught up in their own feelings, and it tends to be a very personal experience, and they can do selfish things that prevent a family member from being able to leave the world because they want to hang on. So empathy does have downsides, but they're generally far better than when you come up with somebody who creates like the Nazis. Basically, they had a very logical system to how they wanted to purify their race. And like Panther, like you told me about the documentary about the nurses. And if you've seen this, the documentary about the nurses and the SS.
I forgot I showed you that. That was a while ago.
It
stuck with you, huh?
It's fascinating because they sincerely believe that they weren't bad people. They thought they were doing the right thing. They thought that this was in the best interest of their people. And from a logical standpoint, you could see them hash that out, but it's because they started with faulty premises. So yes, Oliver Sacks, I would recommend him if you like science writing and kind of poppy writing. It's not completely technical, and stuff about the way the human brain works. His books are beautiful, and I'm kind of glad that sometimes it's nice to know that somebody's gone, and they didn't get caught up in the current culture of having to take an issue on trans people and whatnot. Because a lot of times these older people, they take the bad position, like somebody like Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins' writing is pretty good too, but it's hard to get past the fact that he, in his later life, did some of these crazy things that he did, like take this kind of anti-feminist position and anti-trans position, anti-Islam position. So sometimes you kind of regret that your scientists didn't die before they became old and started being, somebody who was yelling at the kids on their lawn.
David's seen the documentary too, it seems like.
Yeah, it stuck with me. It stuck with me. So, because it's not a flattering view of humanity, but it in some ways it is, because you think that we do have the capacity to band together to accomplish something. It's just unfortunate. It's usually not something good. Like, where's this building? This is an uplifting moment for me, at least. There's a building in Bulgaria, socialist building. See if we can end on a positive note. This building, I love this building. Let's see here.
The
Buzludza.
documentary was, somebody's asking about the documentary. It's about the nurses in Nazi Germany who started with executing the children.
Yeah. Bioethics required for all nurses except me. I assumed it was required. Yeah, like I was a philosophy major, and ethics is part of philosophy, and ethics it always made me laugh because there were maybe in my graduating class of philosophy like 10 people out of a school of like thousands. So there were like 10 of us, maybe less than that. But business majors were all over the place, even though like the idea of going to business school is funny to me, because if you have a business instinct, it's basically to fuck people over and you're going to succeed just in virtue of your lack of ethics. But the idea that you would go to school and try to learn ethics is like antithetical to business in America. Anyways, this is like, I'm trying to tie this together so we can conclude this 2-hour stream by talking about this building here in Bulgaria. We were talking about the people banding together to try to rid their gene pool of quote unquote inferior genes. But here was a moment where, let's see if I could do it, where people banded, me again, not me again. Why is it me? I don't want to see me. So back in the 80s in Bulgaria, they built this.
At 70 meters high and 60 meters wide, Buzludza looks out across the Balkan Mountains. Completed in 1981, it was built as an iconic national monument to glorify the Communist Party.
So it's like people can get together to do something wonderful, like the art inside of this building, and the structure is just so unique. And it's just the fact that we can get together to do something like this when situations permit is like inspiring, but there's not enough of this. And this, like, when you think about the purpose of this building, it doesn't really serve a massive purpose other than to unify people and to think that you're a part of a community. And we don't do enough of this anymore. And it is like, on some levels, it's a waste of money, but that's partly what building a community of people requires. It's an expensive endeavor. It's like far more costly than just dividing people by saying, this group of people is bad because they're a different skin color. It's easier to divide people than it is to unite. And anyways, I'm totally rambling now. So
It's been 2 hours, huh?
yeah, I went quickly. It's nice to have somebody to talk to. Like, I constantly just feel like I'm in my own brain, and I had the delay with the chat, which always makes it hard for me to feel like I'm being normal. But anyways, is it a waste or an investment? Yeah, I think it's as far as government spending goes, that's like people talk about, like they talk about how the post office isn't making money, but the point of the post office was never to be a profitable venture. The point of the post office was to connect people who were in areas that were not very cost effective to deliver to. Same thing with like rural electrification. Everything that makes life worth living is a project that connects people. Even I'm like a recluse and sometimes a bit of a misanthrope, but I don't think that humanity could live just being isolated and constantly in our own brains. It takes a bit of getting together and talking to other people, and sometimes it's hard to do that because when you go out in your own neighborhood like mine, you can't find a bunch of people as cool as the people in this chat where you can have conversations about interesting things. You're going to find the guy who's going to complain about the homeless people that stole the bottles of water from his truck. So it just takes some effort to actually find people that you can connect to and realize the value of community. All right, I think I need to try to close this out before I ramble on and end on an even lamer thought than that. So thank you everyone for showing up, and thank you so much, Pantha, for being here and talking to me. I love you.
Yeah.
So
You're welcome.
And that's it. So even though part of me wants to continue, because I mentioned I'm not a closer, I want to continue to go read chat and keep going. I think I'll just next week we can talk more about some of these things, and maybe I'll have something else fun to watch. So thank you everyone, and we'll see you next week.